These are some of the biggest layup mistakes a basketball player can make. The first is not having all your releases down. That means the underhand, the overhand, the sidearm, the side spin, and the jelly spin. That last one's not quite as necessary though, in my opinion. We'll talk about why some of those releases are so important in different situations in some of the different parts of this video. But if you want a more in-depth video on those specific layups and how to master them, check out the video on the different releases pinned to the comments. That went in, right? Okay, so one of the first big mistakes we gotta talk about is on your fast break layups. Before I get into it, you gotta make sure you've got that right hand and left hand down. I'm a lefty, so I work a lot of my right hand. What keeps a lot of players from being able to score a lot of layups is, number one, they're not comfortable with the left hand on the left side, and then sometimes they get in situations where they have to use the right hand here. You don't have an angle, whereas if I just went to that left hand, I have an easy angle. Now, you could maybe work on turning and going like that to get the layup in, and if that's what you gotta do, go for it, but more ideally, just get that left hand down. That'll open more opportunities for you to score on this side because you feel confident going that way, and just to score more because you have a better angle to get that layup in versus trying to force it in with that right hand when it doesn't make sense. Okay, so the mistake on fast breaks leads to this: bricking the basketball hard. Now, here's what you gotta do to get rid of that. The mistake is not having your hand enough under the basketball. Now, there's two different ways you can go about this. I think the best way is to just simply go underhand, because now my palm's in a position where it's gonna push the basketball straight up, or I can even curl my hand and my fingers to push it more back. So now all my momentum in my body and everything coming this way isn't all being directed this way off the backboard if I have my hand in more of that overhand position behind the basketball. Instead, I'm almost like putting on the brakes, so I hit the backboard nice and soft, and that extra little roll is gonna help it hit the backboard and come back this way even more, so it doesn't go off hard that way. It comes more straight up and down. If you're gonna go more overhand, make sure you get the hand more under the ball, less kind of behind the basketball, because again, then the force is all going here. Get my hand under, it's pushing it more up, I'm gonna get a softer touch. Next mistake is not mastering your fundamental footwork and then advanced footwork. So notice the and. So for starters, you wanna work on basically picking up the ball if I'm on the right side on the right foot, taking one more step so my right arm and my right leg come up. Again, if you want a more full breakdown on how to do your basic layup, I'll have another video pinned to that top comment. But once I got this right-left layup footwork down, then I want to start branching off. I want to start thinking about maybe going left-right, goofy foot layup, maybe a one-step layup where I only take one step and I jump. For sure, jumping off 2 feet, and I want to do that planting with my right-left and then jumping off 2, and I want to also do left-right jumping off 2, and also hop jumping off 2. And of course, you want to think about things like Euro steps. And the reason for this is simple. The game is fast. There's a lot of different situations. This layup, the regular 1-2 fundamental, it becomes predictable. Defenders know how to time it, where you're gonna be, when to jump. And there's just gonna be situations where the defender's right here, and now this is a bad layup, whereas a Euro step could have maybe got me open. Jumping off of 2 feet, I can better take contact and have more control over my body. But if all I have is this, now I'm limited and I can't adapt to those situations. Once again, there'll be another video pinned to the comments on modern layups players should work on, but I go really in depth on some of the things like jumping off of 2 feet, goofy foot, 1-foot jumps, things like that, so you know when to do them in games, and I show you how to practice them to master them. Next mistake encompasses a bunch of mistakes, really, so pay attention to this part. But before I get into that, if you want to see 3 of the most common things that keep players from scoring around the rim, I'm gonna have another video, free video pinned to the comments for that. But this next mistake is not working on finishing in different speeds, angles, and spaces, so there's a lot to unpack there. Most frequently practice their layups kind of at this layup line angle, that 45-ish degree angle at a certain speed. But in games, there's gonna be opportunities to score coming to the baseline, and if you're not comfortable with that, you can't make that shot. Or maybe there's a defender in front of me, so I gotta get rid of the ball sooner, up nice and high, so I have to be able to have that positioning further from the hoop down. There's also gonna be situations where I need to run really fast to get to the hoop and not jump as much. There'll be times where I need to jump from further out, hang, and then get the layup off. And there's situations where maybe the defender's in front of me, or they're running with me and they're ready to jump with me here. And if I can, instead of going full speed to the hoop, just slow down on my 2 steps, I can get more easy layups off. And there's definitely an opportunity with a slow and then a fast step. But there's a ton of ways we can play around with angles, where we're taking the shot from as far as distance from the hoop, and speeds. When you start mixing and matching those with the different types of releases, there's literally infinite possibility. If you found the video helpful, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.